15. Okay, 15 channels. We're live, people. How's it going? I am broadcasting to the chat again. I got my mic on in there. You guys that are in there that are having a discussion, you guys are more than welcome to mute me, and we can discuss this later. If you guys want me to not have my volume on when I'm broadcasting, I can mute myself in the chat, or I can leave it on and you guys can turn my volume down and you guys can talk amongst yourselves. It's up to you. You can watch the show from in there. I can have my volume on. I think that's the way to do it. You guys can mute me individually in there if you guys want to have a talk, or you can move into the garden annex away from me as well. I might actually just make a broadcast room where everyone can get into, where you guys can come in there and watch the show in there if you want. But that'll be a different thing. Okay, so Debbie, 4-Name Girl, what's up? Josh G, what's up? Nick Brown, hello. Nick Brown is he's everywhere. You're nationwide, bro. You're in here. You're in the chat. Trendy Discord. Yeah, the Discord is awesome. We love it. It's a new way of life, man. It's Biden pulls a Trump. Oh, God. Biden pulls a Biden. How about that, dude? How about Biden pulls a Biden? You know, Biden pulls a Trump. Rational National. Whatever, dude. Great hair. He's got great hair. I'll give him that. Unfortunately, it takes more than beautiful hair and a winning smile to be a podcaster. All right, so I'm going to plug my phone in here. Do its thing. And we're going to get into these dabby dabs. That's what we're going to do. Jeff Murphy. Hello, Jeff. Timothy Asbury. Hey, Timmy. Ty, what's up, brother? Jeff, Bob, Nick. Yes. All right, man. So, I've got another one of these mics, you know. I'm thinking maybe if I could find it, it's probably in the warehouse still. It'd look a lot better to have two matching microphones, I think, you know. That's just what's going on inside my head right now. Let's see, where's my stuff? I'm gonna do a dabby dab. Who's gonna do a dabby dab too? I'm gonna do dab did, doing a dab did. Quarter of the hour, cannabisism, tisms for all. Bob, what's up, Bobby Bob? Had an interesting conversation with this kid at the local store, and we're going to talk about that. He makes the best goddamn BLT, I swear. But I was wearing my mask. He wasn't wearing a mask, and I took my mask off. I'm like, are you vaccinated? And he's like, no. He's like, I've had COVID twice already. Cheers, guys. That is so fucking tasty. Oh my God. Took my breath away. Whoa. I did a big dab too. Anyhow. trans issues are something that we've covered on here before. My opinion is this. If you are a man and you transition into a woman, you're not allowed to play official women's sports anymore. Or at all. You never were, and you aren't now either. Not anymore was the wrong word. I'm sorry. I'm hot. I just got a huge dab. Sorry about that. You're not allowed to play professional women's sports. Period. That's my rule. And if anybody, any fucking blue no matter who, lefty fucking liberal fucking Democrat wants to try to fuck with me on this subject, I say come forward, motherfucker. Here I am. I'll completely explain it to you, okay? All right. These are my muscles. All right? These are my muscles. Let's say I get a sex change today. And as soon as I heal up, I decide to go play lady sports with these fucking muscles. Yeah, I'm going to go fucking play, I'm going to go play some female, I don't know, tackle football. How do you think I'll do? You know? Maybe I'll go play some, maybe I'll go get into UFC and start fighting. I'll learn how to fight. How do you think I do? In the ladies class. As a lady. I weigh 172, 173 pounds. But my muscle mass and my bone structure is completely different from a woman's. You know, this body was meant to fucking rip shit up and destroy shit. Literally. You know, we are fucking gorillas. You know, if you don't believe me, I'll lift my fucking shirt up and show you the hair on my back, motherfucker. We're fucking gorillas. And for anyone out there to think that just because I changed my genitalia, that qualifies me to go beat up women, you're a fucking idiot! All right? You don't get to play women's sports. That's the one thing you get to give up. You know, you don't get to fucking grab your dick anymore and jerk it off. That's one thing you gave up. And the other thing you gave up is you don't get to play ladies' sports. All right? Get used to it, pal. Or should I say, get used to it, hun. That's what you want to be called, right? I'm okay with that. I'll call you whatever the fuck you want me to call you. But you can fuck off if you think I'm going to stand by and let you kick the shit out of fucking women so you can feel good about yourself having a fucking sex change. Fuck you. All right? Fuck you. God, that water is so tasty. Tasty. I like it. It's refreshing. Tabitha's drinking her water. She's drinking along. I drink along. Hashtag I drink along. Water, baby. Water for the win. You guys that are wondering, I am looking at Tabitha. She's in the chat. She's in the, and so is Nick. And so is Chuckles. Magursky, McGriddle, McGee, Chuckles. You guys could all go there, you know, to the Discord server if you wanted to. I'll give you the link to it. You like the link? I'm going to get you a link. It's a special nice link. I'm going to get it for you. Special nice. Special nice for you right now. I'm going to get the link for you. There you go. It's the special link for you. You want to come hang out with us in the chat? You come on, hang out with us in the chat. You come hang out with us in the chat. Karen's in there. I finally got Discord now. I just got to get your thing, and then I'll be able to be there. Hey, well, you're not going to get my thing. You got to go to Nay's Garden number 17. What is it? Why isn't it showing it to me? Fucking so stupid. It's not showing me the fucking my channel info. Huh. I don't even know the channel number. Nays Garden number 1777, I think. 17. What's the number? Is it 1777? Nays Garden number 1777. You search that. I needed to smile. Aladdin Honey. Going to download Discord. Yeah, or you could just use your browser. You don't have to download anything. But yeah, it's better if you use the app, in my opinion. It probably uses less of my resources. My computer resources are at 100, man. Why are my resources at 100? It does. Maybe this thing is using more per camera. Let me see here. %, 95, 93, 98. Man, what do I have going on here? I feel like I got something using up all my resources. I just have a YouTube page. Is it Minicam? No, I don't have Minicam on, do I? I got Minicam on. That's how I'm doing this, right? Hold on a second. Wait a second. 1 second. Let's see. I'm just going to turn off Minicam. Oh, man, that cut my computer resources in half. Literally. Wow, dude. And Minicam sucks my dick. I just want everybody to know that. I just want y'all to know that. I just want y'all to know that. Minicam sucks my dick. Yeah. They're sucking it right now. You hear that big sucking sound? That's them sucking it. Suckers. Them fucking suckers are sucking it right now. That's what they're fucking doing. They're sucking it. Those fucking suckers are sucking it. Can I go back in the garden talk now? Let's see what that does to my resources. Can you believe that was fucking Minicam that was jacking my resources up that high? To 100%? Minicam, you suck my dick. I just plugged in 2 cameras. That's all my problem. 2 cameras. 1766. Hey, Nick Brown, thank you. It's Nays Garden number 1766, guys. That's the server number if you're looking for it. If you're not viewing this on YouTube as you should be, you're not getting the link because Facebook sucks my dick too. I'm getting a lot of blowjobs today, obviously. It's all these blowjobs and no joy. Isn't that weird? Psst. It's a little contradicting if you ask me. What's my thoughts on Ben Shapiro? Well, it's funny that you asked me that very question, because this very thing right here just happens to be up on my other monitor, bro. It's like you're a fucking mind reader, Aladdin Honey. How did you fucking do it? I don't know, but this is for you, bro, because we're talking about transgender, and I want to hear what both of these guys have to say about it, and I'm going to be talking about it. All right, here we go.
Transgender women to compete with non-transgender women, then this would somehow not disadvantage biological women. And this seems to me absolutely ascientific, that if we're actually going to have a discussion about gender and sex, that should be based.
Now, when I tell you guys, hey, watch everybody. Watch this guy. Watch the people I fucking hate. Watch people I love but disagree with. Watch them all. It's entertaining. You're going to learn something. And guess what? Every once in a while, you might agree with, oh my God, old God-fearing, yarmulke-wearing Ben Shapiro. That's right, folks. You might actually agree with Ben Shapiro, and I'm here to tell you that I certainly agree with Ben Shapiro. I don't care if you chop your dick and your balls off. You don't get to play women's sports. You know what? I tell you what. You want to fucking UFC fight women? You can fucking fight me. You chop your dick and your balls off, and I'll fight you. How about that? All right? How about that? You want to fight somebody, UFC, you want to box, I'll box you. You want to go box ladies? I tell you what, you fucking pussy. I'll fucking box you. All right? Why don't you come fight me? Since you need to fight somebody to feel like a big, whatever the fuck you are, whatever you consider yourself now, fuck you. Fuck you. You confused about it? Well, you shouldn't be confused about getting into a fight with women when all you did was chop your fucking dick off. That doesn't qualify you. Sorry, not sorry. All you got to do is this. And that's all I'm ever doing. I'm just fucking thinking right here, in my brain a little bit, up here. Thinking. You know who else did that? Ben fucking Shapiro. He's making total sense right there. Listen to him again.
Typically made by gender theorists is that gender is entirely separate from sex. You've seen the argument made that it makes no difference on average if men are stronger than women are.
No, he got confused there. Gender's separate from sex. What you meant was gender was separate from physicality, Ben. And you're stupid for saying that. Gender and sex are basically the same fucking thing. Okay? It's like a different word for the same fucking thing, and you're an idiot for not knowing that. But I'll let that go, because what you're saying after that is completely 100% correct.
And that if we were to allow transgender women to compete with non-transgender women, then this would somehow not disadvantage biological women. And this seems to me absolutely ascientific. That if we're...
It is completely bullshit, is what Ben is trying to say. He has a problem just using normal words, because he's not a normal human being. He's an asshole. So he thinks that he has to use really complicated words and kind of flip things around and use more words to explain it, when it really only takes about 4 or 5 words to say what he's saying. Hey, trans people shouldn't be allowed to play in the sport of the sex that they used to fucking be, in the sex that they're trying to be. I'm sorry. Trans people shouldn't be allowed to just go play in the sex that they claim they are. You can't just claim that sex and go play sports in that league. That's why it's called women's sports. There's a reason for that name. You don't qualify. Yeah, it sucks, right? Oh, but I'm a woman. No, you're not. Not when it comes to women's sports. Sorry. Maybe when it comes to social justice warrioring, I'll absolutely fight for your right to call yourself a woman and use whatever fucking bathroom you want. Absolutely. But you don't get to play women's sports, all right? That's where Ben Shapiro and this guy draw the fucking line. And listen, we're on opposite sides of the fucking spectrum, this fucking douchebag and me. We're on completely opposite sides of the fucking spectrum. All right? I disagree with every fucking word this motherfucker says, but he's got this right. Let's see what Neil deGrasse Tyson, the scientist, has to say.
Actually going to have a discussion about gender and sex, that should be based in data, which suggests that mammals are, in fact, binary in terms of their sex, unless you have intersex birth defects, typically, or genetic defects.
I'm happy to opine on this. This only matters because today we segregate nearly all sports by gender. Otherwise, why do we even give a shit?
Right. Right.
What someone identifies with. This is
right. And he's just talking about a form of indoctrination. Indoctrination is there should be ladies and men's sports. That we're all indoctrinated to believe that. He's right, but it has nothing to do with this conversation at all. So he just filibustered on this topic. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, point off. You get a point off, motherfucker. Hey, I'll share this screen so you guys can see it too. See what that does to my CPU usage here. 98%. It's jacked up, man. I don't like to run at 100% CPU, but let's just go on with it.
We live in a free country, and with consenting adults and people free expression of who and what they are.
Yeah, adult love language. I mean, it doesn't matter what you
That's what I'm saying. And so there's the matrix of what you are biologically, how you express yourself, who you choose as a sexual partner. If we actually live in a free country, as we tell ourselves, people's freedom to behave in any of those ways.
This motherfucker is filibustering and not making any sense at all. He's not talking about the subject. The subject is, should a man who chops his dick and balls off be allowed to play women's professional sports? That's the question, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Why are you having such a hard time answering that fucking question? Hey, Oliver Munoz, what's up, son? Welcome to the chat. We're doing a show right now. Enjoy.
Should not concern you at all. Nor are they requiring that you behave that way. Okay? This is for their own freedoms, because we live in a free country. Now, what is unresolved here is, what do you do with sports? It's unresolved, and I follow that closely, and I don't see any meaningful solutions to come down off of that. We know that hormones manifest differently in different people, and there's the whole thing with steroids. Steroids are hormones, right? And we rallied against steroids in professional sports because it gives you an undue advantage.
Dude, I'm so confused with what he just said right there. He says, I don't know what we should do with that. There doesn't seem to be an answer to it or something. What does he say?
What is unresolved here is, what do you do with sports? It's unresolved, and I follow that closely, and I don't see any meaningful solutions.
He doesn't see any meaningful solutions? Dude, I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson, guys. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just an old man sitting on a goddamn mountain, and I've got the solution. You don't let them play the fucking female sports, Neil deGrasse. Why is that so hard to say? Oh, right. Because you're a fucking Democrat, because you're toting the blue line, because, you can't say anything bad that would ever go against what the left says, Neil deGrasse Tyson, right? You can't be honest about this one? There's a solution. You didn't think about it? Hey, man, it's like this. Mike Tyson goes to the UFC, and he wants to fight in the ladies' UFC. He's like, hi, everybody, I want to play UFC. Can you guys let me play against the ladies? I want to play ladies sports. Is that all right with y'all? And they're like, no, you're fucking Mike Tyson. But why can't I play ladies sports? What's the difference? Why can't I play ladies sports? Why are you giving me such a hard time? I just want to play some ladies sports here. What's wrong with that? Today I consider myself a lady, and I want to play ladies sports. I want to do UFC against ladies. Is that a problem? Yeah, Mike Tyson, it's a fucking problem. We're not going to let you do it. You're banned from playing ladies sports. You're a fucking professional boxer. You're a fucking monster, and goddamn, that's right. You're a man! Okay, well, I'll be back tomorrow, okay? All right, Mike Tyson, we'll see you tomorrow. Hi, I'm Michelle Thompson. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, Mike, what's up? No, please call me Michelle. My name is Michelle now. I chopped off my dick and my balls yesterday, and now I want to play ladies sports. No, Mike Tyson, you don't get to play fucking UFC with the ladies. You're blocked. You're banned, and you're not allowed to do it. Who disagrees with me? Should Mike Tyson be allowed to play ladies UFC? Should he be allowed to play ladies boxing? Well, he cut his dick and his balls off. He had it sewn together. He made a pussy out of it. They did all the right things. They had a great doctor. They're fucking Hollywood. They can do anything out there. You take a fucking banana and turn it into a goddamn peach, man. How hard could that be?
To come down off of that. We know that hormones manifest differently in different people, and there's the whole thing with steroids. Steroids are hormones, right? And we rallied against steroids in professional sports because it gives you an undue advantage. So I'm trying to think of what the future of sports would be in the world of a gender spectrum. And it may be, you don't specify whether it's a male or female sport. You just take measurements of what your hormonal balances are. And so you compete based on your hormonal. This is fun, Adam. I don't know. I don't know where it's going to land.
The WNBA won't be in business for very long if that's the case.
It would just be...
Yeah, Ben Shapiro just blew you out of the water. Yeah, government won't be in business very long if that's the case.
You'd have to find some way to compete people against each other.
No, you don't! That's the indoctrination right there! I need to figure out how to play sports! No, you don't! You don't get to play fucking sports, man. All right? Too bad. That's it. That's the solution. You gotta find a way for everyone to play sports. Go play some fucking chess. Hey, I got an idea. Go get a punching bag. Go get a heavy bag. There you go. You can go fucking work out in a goddamn gymnasium all day long. Go get a trainer. And they can hold up the bags, and the pads, and you can beat the fucking pads all day with the fucking trainer. How about that? You could take an ad out in Craigslist and find other trans people that want to start their own trans person boxing league. Best of luck to you. You don't get to play lady sports. Sorry.
If you still care that sports is an interesting activity.
I guess the area where it does come up in a non-sports area. So it would be, you talk in your book about the education of children and teaching children about science. And right now, children are being taught about the quote-unquote gender spectrum, which is not scientifically based. That is a theory-based idea.
No, wait, hold on. People express themselves on a spectrum. So you learn that.
That's a social point, not a scientific point.
It's
Meaning we express ourselves based in different languages. Is that something you teach in science class, or is that something that you teach when you're teaching language?
So whether the fact that people want to express themselves on a spectrum, on a gender spectrum, whether that fact is something you want to put in a sociology class or in a science class, maybe that remains to be determined. But it is a real fact about real society.
Well, of course, nobody's denying that people identify how they want to identify.
So
the question is, what is the relation of that to biology? Meaning that the argument is made that trans women are women, for example. And what that seems to mean is that trans women are identical to women. Now, if people want to say trans women are not biological women, obviously that is the case. But people don't seem to want to say that, although that is obviously scientifically true. Trans women are not biological women. Biological women are biological women. But
where are you going with this? What are you trying to accomplish by asking yourself, is it science or is it not science? It's people in society.
But this is a perfect example of an area where suddenly it doesn't matter to say things that are just true. Like, why is it bad or wrong?
I have another way to approach this.
Of course you do.
I care what is objectively true in the world as a scientist.
Because Ben just wants to use words that make sense so everybody's on the same page, and Neil deGrasse Tyson wants to be politically correct, and it's obfuscating the entire fucking debate. So let's see how he wants to frame it.
But let me not say even as a scientist. I just simply care what is objectively true. And science happens to be a pretty potent path to invoke, to find out what is true. And so if people express themselves on a gender spectrum, and that is an actual thing in an actual society, if we have not fully explained that scientifically, that's an interesting frontier to study. If you want to say it's only sociological, then it's the purview of the social sciences.
Can I just say it is so fucking stupid that they are sitting kneecap to kneecap here, guys. They are literally sitting kneecap to kneecap. It is the most uncomfortable fucking conversation setup that I've ever seen. Who wants to sit there and look someone dead in their eye right across from them and literally fucking square off with them while you're trying to have a fucking conversation with them? Who does that? Ben Shapiro is a cunt. He's a dumb cunt that he thinks that that's a legitimate way that you interview someone, that you fucking sit yourself right in front of them like you're the Gestapo and you're questioning them and you want to see their papers and you're shining the light in their faces. Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't care who studies it. It's an interesting fact about society that's worth learning about. To make it fight someone and say, it's not biological, it's just your this. It's real and it's there. Well, because it's real because it manifests.
I think that was a real...
Dude, there is no woman on the planet Earth who could match up in a boxing contest with Mike Tyson. Even today, as an old fucking man, there's not a lady on the planet who's going to be able to fucking even get a single shot in on him. He's going to knock them out in one punch. He's going to move in on them and go bam, and the fight's going to be over like that. And he's not even going to have to try. I don't care if it's the most muscular, steroided out fucking bitch that you can find from Russia, from a goddamn gulag that's 7 feet tall. Mike Tyson's still going to knock her the fuck out in 1 second. It's just stupid to even think that. You know? If there's a woman that could match up with Mike Tyson, maybe it'd be fairer. Dude! Were you around during the fucking 80s? Where were you in the 1980s? I'm just wondering, because I'll tell you where I was. I was watching Mike Tyson knock motherfuckers out like they're dropping like feathers, bro. Feathers. We were paying money for those fights, and we're like, dude, we only got fucking 1 minute and 30 seconds worth, man. And we were complaining because we just spent $20 on a fight. Yeah, that's what they were back then. They were $20. You know, you spend $20 on the big fight, and you freak out about it, man. Dude, we only got to do 1 minute and 37 seconds. He knocked that motherfucker out in the first round. I had a whole party. I just got all these chips and dips, and nobody ate them all, man. Everybody's gone.
Really, really interesting back and forth. So I want to go through a bunch of it here. At the beginning, Shapiro says the left is militating interesting word.
What?
Against
Military?
science. And
The left is, if he perceives people like Neil deGrasse Tyson beating around the bush when it comes to this topic, that's exactly what the left is doing, Kyle Kalinske. Oh, Kyle's running cover for the left, everybody. Let's watch. He's going to run cover for the left against Ben Shapiro. Great. Let's see what he has to say about transports. Oh, because Ben Shapiro was 100% correct on this. There's nothing Kyle can say that Ben Shapiro said that's incorrect. But let's see. You should talk about the fact that he's sitting kneecap to kneecap with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and that's fucking weird. You weren't born till 96, not 4. This is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. There is a highlight reel on YouTube, and it is fucking awesome. It's every knockout that Tyson ever did. Go watch that video, bro. You're going to fucking love it. Every knockout from Mike Tyson. Go watch that. And you tell me if you think that there's a woman on the planet who could stand in that ring with that man. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go look at the monsters that motherfucker used to beat down. Look at the men, the way they towered. Men! Do you know how big these motherfuckers were compared to Mike Tyson? They were way bigger than him. He took them down like chopping down a cherry tree with a fucking chainsaw, bro. Go watch. You're going to be impressed, man. You're going to be like, oh, man, I missed out on a whole decade of the most awesome boxing fighter ever. Dude, it's going to be like watching the movie Rocky. You're going to love it. Go watch it. If you've never seen that shit before, dude, it's insane.
Is on this issue of transgenderism, the left is openly anti-science. That's sort of the point he's trying to make. I do find it hilarious, though, because...
What's hilarious?
Put that point aside. I don't know whether you grant him that or don't grant him that.
Oh, no. Be content. No. Motherfucker. You don't put it aside because you can't fucking debate it because he's correct. You give him the point, you fucking cuck bitch. Yeah, let's put this aside. We're going to circle back to that. You're such a fucking liberal, man. Go work for fucking Joe Biden, you dumb cunt. I fucking hate you more every day, Kyle. I swear to fucking Christ. I bring you on here because I think it's going to actually benefit my audience. But you know what it does? You just make me look good, bro. That's all you do. You make me look real good. Fuck, how do you do that, man? If Kyle ever got wind of this, he'd start crying. Yeah, I can't believe I make that old man look good, but he's right. I'm a pussy. I'm bought. I will not tell my audience the truth because I really don't care about my audience. I don't give a fuck about them. Of course you don't, Kyle. We can tell.
What the fuck does the right say on climate change?
Huh? 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 Really? Dude, you cannot make this shit up. I only have 11 people watching. There should be 1,100 people watching me call this fucking little pussy out. There's 11 people watching my show right now, guys. And I sit here in shock that I've got maybe one of the best cases of a person that I used to love and respect. I would have fought you over this guy. I would have fucking died for this guy maybe 6 months ago. And now I just want to slap him across his fucking face. I'm sitting here in shock that he has flipped into this obfuscating, unable to fucking to come up with any kind of an actual argument anymore to defend these fucking liberals, these motherfucking douchebags, and he wants to call himself a part of that. Come to the center, Kyle. Come to the center, bro. You're not an independent. You're a Democrat. This proves it. You want to talk about climate change on a transgender topic? Oh, you're deflecting. You're changing the subject. Okay. You're also projecting because you literally can't represent anybody in this argument right now. And you're trying to say, oh, look at Ben Shapiro. He can't represent anybody in this argument right now because of blah, blah, blah. And that's literally what you're doing. You're backing out. You're chickening out of this argument. Not me. Not me. Not me. You know how I feel about this. If you're transgender and you used to be a man and you've got the bone structure and you've got the muscle structure of a man, you are not allowed to compete with women professionally. Now, if there's ladies out there that want to go play tag football with you or even tackle football with you on a field somewhere where it doesn't matter and they want to risk their lives against a fucking man on the field, hey, man, go right ahead. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I call you a man? With someone with the bone structure and the muscles of a man, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're a woman. You're a woman who's not allowed to play women's sports. That's all. But you could go use a women's bathroom. I have no problem with that. But my issue is with the sports. No, you can't fucking do it. And I don't understand why, like Ben Shapiro says, people can't just be honest about this and use real words about this. And Neil deGrasse Tyson goes with, oh, you know, I think I have a better way that we can possibly approach this. And this guy, oh, let's talk about the right and climate change? What? Dude, there's no more climate change argument, bro. The country and the world are melting. You can't use that as a defense anymore, Kyle. Let's keep going.
What does the right say on, or to be fair, what do some factions of the right say on vaccines?
Hey, last I saw, Donald Trump got vaccinated and was wearing a mask for the last few weeks of his presidency. So, you know, at least I've seen people on the right getting vaccinated. Every single motherfucker at Fox News is vaccinated, I guarantee you. I guarantee every single reporter at Fox News is vaccinated. Promise you. All the way down to Tucker Carlson. And I bet you he got the double smack. I guarantee it.
So, this is one of the main issues with Shapiro, is that he makes a comment like that. Totally broad, sweeping generalization that's just wrong. The left is militating against science. Does everybody on the left take all of their beliefs from science? Of course not. But what a ridiculous broad generalization. The left is militating against science. He always tries to portray what he views as the other side in the most negative light possible. So he doesn't steelman them, he strawmans them. And of course, he does the reverse of that too. He tries to make his side seem, you know, nothing but reasonable. Neil says the only reason why we're even talking about this issue in today's day and age is because of sports. Because if it wasn't for the sports issue, he says, why should anybody care? Why wouldn't anybody care?
Exactly.
Now,
well, sports and bathrooms.
I agree with him that the bulk of the conversation is happening when it comes to trans issues in sports, but you know.
Whoa. I agree with him on the fact that the biggest issue involving trans people is sports. It's not. It's bathroom usage in public. That's the biggest issue. It's not sports. Fuck your sports. Who fucking cares about this shit? It's meaningless. We're indoctrinated to think sports are important. You can go get exercise any way you want. You can go get socialized any way you want. You don't have to get those with sports. You're not banned from being social, and you're not banned from being physically fit and getting exercise. We're not telling you can't go run around a track with other people. You know, we're not telling you can't go jogging with friends. We're not telling you can't ride bicycle with friends. We're not telling you that you can't train karate and martial arts and boxing and all that shit with whomever you want at a facility. You know, you can do this fucking all day, man. You know, you can do this all fucking day at a goddamn gymnasium. You don't have to have somebody beating you in the face. And you know what? There's plenty of trainers out there if you want them to. I'm sure that will beat you in the face if that's what you want. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that will fight you. But you need to just, you know, give up sports. I don't know how many times I have to say that. But you don't get to play female sports. All right, they're off limits to you. Sorry. That's just, you know, I wish it was different. You know, I wish they could take your muscles and your bone structure and shrink them down the way you wanted them to be. But that technology doesn't exist. So as long as you got that frame, as long as you have those muscles, as long as your body has that male testosterone-driven, adrenaline-driven drive that women don't have, you don't get to play fucking sports. It's like a power man. You know? Check this out. let's say we're going to race Yamaha YZs, and everybody gets a Yamaha YZ 80. Except for me, I get a 250, man, and it's got a power band. And those 80s, they're just 3 speeds, and the 250, it's a 6-speed with a fucking power band. You know what that means? That means it's got a range in the gear that when you fucking hit it, it spins the fucking wheels so fucking fast that it's beyond ungodly gobs of fucking power. That's what the power band is, right? Would it be fair? Well, that's basically what a transgender that just flipped over from being a man into a woman has got access to. You got a power band. You don't get to fucking race the little YZ80s, you know? Sucks to be you. You can go run on the track. You know, go do a personal best. Go do a personal best. Try to beat your time every time. You could go run around with other racers too. See who's the fastest. You know, fine. Go race somebody on a 550, man, and see if you can beat them. How about that? That would be fair, right?
Oh, there are plenty of people who don't want to let trans people use whatever bathroom they
You know what would be funny as fuck? If they did let trans women who just transitioned over from being a man, and they have all of the qualifications of a man still, right? And they're like, yeah, okay, we'll let you play women's sports. Absolutely, you can play women's sports. Cool. All right, we've got an event. We got a UFC fight. You get to fight this lady, and it's gonna be fucking fantastic. You're gonna have a great fight. Awesome, fantastic. So they show up to the fight, and you know who shows up? GSP wearing a wig. And you know what GSP says? Well, I feel like a lady today. I'm identifying as a lady today. Round 1, fight. Fuck you! Yeah. Oh, but he's identifying as a lady. That's what they should do to these transgender motherfuckers that want to play lady sports. Put them in there with a man that's identifying as a lady that day. Yeah, do that. That'll fix that shit real quick. That's what they fucking deserve, too. You want to play the fucking sports so bad.
Don't want to have trans people in the military. There are people who don't want to have trans people as a protected class. Historically, in this country, we have, certain minority groups are protected classes because there's a history of some sort of discrimination or oppression against them to one extent or another. It doesn't have to be, uniform and universally bad across the board. American, or if you're African American, you're a protected class. There's a list of protected classes.
Isn't that funny that all three of us agree on this? Ben Shapiro, Kyle Kalinske, and Trendy Nay all agree transgenders should be allowed to use whichever bathroom they're the most comfortable with. I'm fine with that. Isn't that funny? I have no problem with that.
Shapiro agrees with those things. So it does go beyond just sports. But yes, a big part of the conversation in today's day and age is sports. Then gender are different. And I like how he makes the point, listen, that's freedom. Like, you're allowed to do that in a free society. And also, he goes on to make this point later on, but it is a manifestation of something that's a real phenomenon. And by the way, historically, there's records going way back of trans people existing. So it's not like it's just this new thing or a fad or whatever. No, it's existed for as long as people have existed. Neil says he's trying to think of a way to address the sports issue, because the argument that people make is, well, if somebody is a man and they go through puberty as a man, then they're a lot more, they have a bigger frame, and they have some physical advantages, they have hormonal advantages. So, Neil says, well, maybe the solution at some point will be to do sports not by segregating it into men and women, but doing it by hormone levels. He says that's one way we can address it. You can tell he's not, this isn't the field that he's always, in.
No, but I gotta tell you, that's fucking stupid. Hormone levels. Whatever, dude. That's bullshit. No, You don't get to play fucking lady sports. That's all. We're not going to give you fucking hormone tests and see where your hormone level is. That's bullshit.
And immersed in and thinking about, but he is trying to come up with what you use are real solutions. And he says, maybe do it by hormone levels. Another thing that others have probably floated is this idea of you have a men's league, you have a women's league, and you have a trans men league, and you have a trans women league.
There you go. That's a great idea. I already came up with that idea. I said you guys could start your own fucking league. Exactly. Great idea, Kyle. Let's do that. Okay? Let's do that. Problem solved. Why couldn't Neil deGrasse Tyson come up with that?
Now, that might be a little difficult because the numbers are such that, what are you going to do? Might be one trans man or trans woman.
Well, then he's the champion until somebody can unseat him. She is the champion until somebody can unseat her. That's how sports work. I am the champion of holding purple water cups that are insulated in my right hand during a podcast while bouncing them on my head. I am the champion, and nobody else has ever done this before, ever in the whole world, in the history of the world. I'm number one at this, and until you unseat me, I want my goddamn recognition for that. I'm the best of the best. Nobody holds purple cups and bounces them off their head as good as I do. Psst, I'm pro, baby. Nobody's even doing it.
In a given area, so we don't have anybody
Nobody's even doing it like that anymore, pal. You fucking crazy? Psh, unreal.
That they can play the sport with. So that opens up a whole new can of worms and a whole new set of issues. But Neil is trying to think about this to come up with solutions.
Nobody's balancing their head. Nobody's balancing their cups on their head anymore, pal. Nobody's even doing it like me. Nobody's even doing it like me. You can't balance on your head like I can balance on my head. I'm the best balancer in the chat.
Ben Shapiro says gender spectrum is a theory-based idea. And I like Neil's reaction.
See, your problem is you got too many brains up in that skull of yours, man. They had to make extra room for all them brains, so we don't have a flat level. See me, I got no brains up there, so it's just flat. It's that size. So my benefit is you can fucking put a fucking beer on top of my head. It's great.
Because he says, wait a second. It is an absolute fact that that's how people express themselves. So to call it theoretical is kind of misleading because, listen, we can observe it. We can see it. It's happening right now. It's very clear that there are people who are biologically, one sex or the other.
Bottom of the hour. Cheers, guys.
There does appear to be a spectrum. And now you could say, hey, that was made up and then people manifested it into reality. Even if I grant you that point, which I don't, it's still here right now. And that's what DeGrasse Tyson's point. He's like, look, it's a fact. You can look, you can see it. And then he goes on to argue, I don't care whether you put this conversation and this field of research into a science class or a social sciences class. But it's an interesting thing, and it should be taught in one or the other. So it's one kind of science or another kind of science, but it is a science. If anything, I'm with Anil in the sense that it's just interesting. It's just interesting. Now, listen, I'm what they would call a cisgender white male or whatever. So born, my sex is male. My gender is, I guess I identify as male. I identify with what my sex is, what my biological sex is.
You guess?
And I've never had any moment of doubt about that or feeling off about that or weird with it. No gender dysphoria.
You just did. That. You just hesitated.
Position,
you guessed. Yeah, you did.
I could sit there and judge everybody who wasn't fortunate enough to be born with the package that they identify with.
He said package.
I'm actually genuinely interested and curious.
He said package.
How this comes
He's
about.
so stupid.
Is it purely nature? And it looks like that might be the answer. There are many people.
He said package, and then he didn't even realize he said it. That's how stupid Kyle Kalinske is.
Who are just born biologically one sex, but they just feel like they identify with the opposite gender. That could all be nature, which means it's natural. It means it's the opposite of what the conservatives think it is. Or it could be sort of like how I think sexuality might develop, which is you get basically you get impacted in your most developmental formative years. And then that sort of is imprinted on your mind, and you can't change it if you know, as you get older. It sort of is what it is. So you weren't born trans, but in your developmental years, something happens where you feel like that is what you are, and then there's no looking back, there's no reversing it. I think, honestly, guys, I think that it's really similar to your sexuality. With your sexuality, you know what you are by a certain point. You know what you're into. I think gender stuff is probably similar to that. That people have this overwhelming compulsion. Because, nobody would actively choose to make themselves more of an outcast in society like that. To make it so that a lot of people, some very high percentage of people, look at you like, well, that's weird. Nobody would actively choose a more difficult situation and a more difficult life like that. Like, let me pick the hardest path I possibly could to go down, because, you know, the statistics when it comes to trans people are overwhelming in a negative direction, in the sense that there's a lot of suicide, there's a lot of crime against them. It's tough. It's tough. So if somebody does the transition thing, they really, really, really believe it and mean it, and it is them. That is who they are. So I'm interested in that fact. That's sort of fascinating that it manifests in reality like that. So just like we have people who are born male and they feel male, we have people who are born female and they feel female. It's really not that weird or foreign a concept if you really think about it, that many people are born male and feel female, or they're born female and they feel male. And, you know, I forget this person's name, and I apologize for that, but early on in Secular Talk, maybe like 2014 or 2015, somebody reached out to me who's a fan of the show, and they're trans. And they basically said, they explained to me, now this is anecdotal, this is one person, you know, you take it with a grain of salt if you'd like, but they basically explained to me that they were miserable, and they were basically suicidal until they got gender surgery to change their gender.
That sounds like the story from every trans person I've ever heard tell their story in my life. He sounds so out of touch with this, man. Oh my God.
And took the hormones and everything. And now they said they feel great and they feel like they're themselves and they're happy. And, you know, I don't know what percentage of trans people that's the answer for, but I do know that anecdotally, at least, that's worth studying. And you can't just swat it aside. It's like, that's anti-scientific. Anything that exists can be studied through science. We know trans issues exist. So look at it with an open mind and study it and research it and figure...
No, man, dude, I don't need to. These women need to be banned from playing women's sports professionally. That's all there is to it. Period. There's nothing to research. I don't need to research anything, bro. You're an idiot for telling people this. This is exactly what liberals and the left are always preaching, you know, and you're just like, dude, quit ramming it down people's throats. You know, we know how we feel about it, and we don't need you trying to force it on us and telling us that we're not fucking educated on it, when, Kyle, you've done nothing here but demonstrate that you're the one that's not educated on trans rights at all. So just the fact that you're confused about this, or that you think there's even, you know, some debate and you know, investigation that needs to happen.
What it is, and use that information to then make life better for trans people and better for everybody. And so, yeah, I don't get the obsession with this issue from the right.
Beazle.
Why do you care? Let people do whatever they're going to do. That's called freedom. And when there is an issue, let's figure it out scientifically, and let's study it scientifically. Because the point that I don't think a lot of people on the right grasp is that, of course it's real, and of course it's natural, because it's existing in nature, so then it should become not trying to explain away or swat it aside or act like it's illegitimate. Then the question becomes, well, let's study it and see how this came about and why it is. That's the whole point of science. And Neil says, I don't care if it's science or social sciences, where you look into it, we should look into it because it's interesting and it's fascinating, and it's no reason to, you know, dislike people or go after people or discriminate against them or whatever.
It was the paused look on, not pissed, it was paused. Because Kyle's face looked funny. I noticed that too. So, that's all I have to say about that one specific topic. It's just too bad more people weren't interested in hearing what I had to say, and more people didn't come to the show, man. That would have been cool if people had showed up to the show. But, you know, I understand that our problem is my YouTube channel's not on right now. That's not helping. So in 7 days, we'll have that channel back. And it's a good thing we got this trans issue out of the way now, because I'm sure I'd get another strike for talking about it and saying all the things that I said. Whatever I just said, I'm sure I'd get a strike for.
Hey guys.
So, I'm just relaxing here. I'm out of water. If I got more water, I'd go longer. So let me just try that. I'm going to get some more water. Rogie, you want to come in the house? I give you a cookie. You want a cookie? Come on in the house. I give you a cookie. Good boy. Little bulldozer. All right. How about a cookie, buddy? Okay. I got another glass of water, but there's only 8 people watching the show, so I'm going to go. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the hour. If there were 18 people here, I'd stay. But I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe I'll see you at 4:20 or 7:10 tonight. You guys take care. Love you guys. Bye-bye.